We're going to have a look at VLOOKUP in action. Using the stock data sheet, you'll find that we have a single sheet with a list of items, quite a big list of items, that has the title, price, whether they have an image, the weight, and how many are in stock. And then we have an order form template. Now this order form template is really an order form that we're going to fill in with the item code here, how many of an item this particular customer is going to buy, and then using VLOOKUP, we go and find out the unit cost of that particular item. We can then calculate the line total, which is the quantity times the unit cost. We'll import the description using the VLOOKUP, and we'll import the weight using the VLOOKUP, so that we can then total up the weight for shipping, therefore deciding on the correct shipping method and costs, total up the invoice, total up the quantity sold, and there is a formula to total up the unit cost, but that would be totally irrelevant, so we'll remove that and we'll put a faded grey background. So the first thing here is to type in the customer's name. Toys Inc. The date of the order, April 24, 2013. And then our order details. So we simply type in the reference numbers, rug 00009, and they buy 3 of those. Let's just widen our template column slightly. ROS 00037, 2 of those. HOR 00003, let's buy half a dozen of those. Red 00053, 3 of those. And then LON 00274, and we'll have 10 of those. So the quantity should be added up at the bottom. It is. We have 24. And the rest, the unit, dollars, the description, and the weight, we need now to use a VLOOKUP to obtain that data. Let's just centraline those as a bit of tidiness. So the unit cost of rug 00009 is in this table here. The first stage, just to make really the VLOOKUP look a lot neater and shorter, is I want to name my data. So I click anywhere into it and do Ctrl A to select all of the data, and then I can go to formulas and define a name. So I'm going to call this stock. So the name for my range is stock. It's a workbook scope, so I can use stock in any formulas throughout the whole of this workbook, and it refers to the cells on the item sheet from A1 to L275. Okay. In my order form template, I can then start typing my VLOOKUP. Let's go find out which column the unit cost is in. So that's column 1, 2, 3, the third column. Equals VLOOKUP, open brackets. The value I'd like to take to the lookup table with me is the item reference, comma. Table array is the lookup table. Well, I've given that a name called stock, and you can see it then appears, comma. Which column do I want to select? I want the value that is in column 3 on the row where it will locate rug 00009, comma, and it must be an exact match for that reference code. So I enter false in the last section there. So equals VLOOKUP A8, stocks the named range, column 3, false, so it has to be an exact match. Therefore the unit cost for that particular item is 6.293711. Let's format that to 2 decimal places, and we could add the formula for the total, which is simply equals the quantity multiplied by the unit cost. And again, let's format that to 2 decimal places. So the description is in the data. I simply want to do another VLOOKUP and bring back the item title, which I can see as column 1, 2, equals VLOOKUP, the item reference, comma, my named range of stock, column 2, and false because it has to be an exact match again. And I get the description as a rugby mug and coaster set. And this particular customer has ordered 3 of them. Then I need to pull in the weight so that I can add the weight of the order. And the weight is stored in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, column 6. So I need to look up column 6 equals VLOOKUP. I'm looking up the reference number. I'm looking it up in the stock reference table. And it was column 6. And it has to be an exact match again. Now the weight, that is for a single item, and I bought 3. So I need to multiply that by the quantity cell. So there's nothing to stop you using a VLOOKUP as part of a continuing formula, as we have done there. So our weight is going to be 1800 for 3 rugby mug and coaster sets. Now, having created all these formulas, the VLOOKUP for the unit cost, simple multiplication for the total, a VLOOKUP for the description, and a VLOOKUP for the weight, I can then copy all of those down to the last item. And we see they all quite happily work. If I take this one, for example, it's using LUN 00274, same lookup table as stock table, same column, the third one that contains the unit cost. That then does 10 multiplied by 1019, gives me 4192, and it's a London latte mug boxed. Total has been added up, $16,700, $167.86 for the cost of the items. So that's using a VLOOKUP to effectively collect information from another sheet to use in our order form. We've called it an order form template. Once you're happy that your formulas work, you could then clear out the items and the quantities and use this as a template for people ordering from your stock list.